I was doing a random multi. Hello, everyone. Probably should start with hello. Hello, everybody. This is Renelsi. Alright. Did a multi. It showed rainbow. That's what... It's a hint for the future. Right? It's Kotone. Right here. This is a hint for the future. We're on 50-50, but Kotone showed up her 3-star weapon right there, so it is a... hint. It is foreshadowing. See? There it is. It was foreshadowing. There we go. Awesome. There we go. That was on 30 pity, or I was on 20 and then I did the multi and then there we go. Easy as that. So we're saving now. I mean, obviously, right? I was going to basically just tap into why I finally hooked this up. It's been a while since I pulled anything early from him. I'm just glad we won. But there we go. I guess I could just... I say save, but I might drop a little bit on Yusuke just to see what happens, because it looks like the pity for super reruns is saved over with standard banners, so we might as well just see if we can't pick up a Yusuke. Might as well. Another thing, she likes you... Mont, at least. Mont likes it when you have teammates that are the same element as her, apparently. So that makes me want to get Cherish and Yusuke now. At least for the ice side. When she kind of just doesn't have any teammates like that, but... Awesome. That worked out as well as that possibly could have. I'm actually quite happy about that. Pretty nice. I like it. Yeah, so she seems like she wants to have teammates of the same element, and unfortunately, the wind side has like not anybody. I guess I can build the freaking cat now, but don't necessarily want to. But I guess I will. We'll see what happens. We might go for Cherish or Yusuke later now. Like, I actually picked them up, but for now, I'm pretty happy with how Kotone turned out. I was pretty much running through the 3.0 story right now, so I was just, you know, playing through that. Grinding for some pulls, then randomly got a 10. And then glowed rainbow. I'm like, I need to turn on my recording. And then there it was. Not too bad so far for the story. I'm enjoying it. Good amount. I mean, I'm in pretty much the beginning though. I'm not sure how far we're gonna be able to go for this, but we'll see. I'm just happy that I can freaking save for Violet now, and there's like literally nothing that can freaking stop me, which is lovely. I mean, there was nothing stopping me to begin with, but I do like Kotone, so there's that. Anyway, I will catch you all later. What is Crack-a-lack-a, everyone? This is Renelsi coming back at you with some... I almost said Starro. Persona 5X. And today, I figured since we have Mr. Joker at A6, we might as well do some showcasing of him. He's obviously our first limited 5-star that we got to A6. I'm not going to be doing this with that many characters, but I'll do it with some of them. And Joker's one of them. Unfortunately, he was not the first character we got to A6 because of this freaking child. I don't know what it is about her, but she just refused to leave me alone at like any point. It's kind of annoying, to be honest, but that's how it is. There's nothing I can really showcase like optimally, I don't think, in his first situations, unless I'm misremembering. Yeah, there's not really any like amazing situations for him specifically that I can put him into. Once you're in the battle menu on the left side right here, you can see when you have an A6 5-star, they have that really cool like fire effect that's going on. I think it's really cool. This team we're gonna be running today. Thank goodness that Marion is freaking consistently popped up for us ever since she's been added to the standard pool, which honestly was not that long ago, but I'm glad. So she's gonna be quite powerful because she's at A4. We had her A0 before this, which, you know, kind of crazy. I got 4 copies that fast, but it happened. Our Futaba is A1. And then, I mean, you guys can see all these, the awarenesses there. I believe we wanted... Do we even want Starry Compass? I mean, honestly, we're not running optimally anyway. I'm just gonna do some showcasing. So we'll run Starry Compass. Normally I run, I think it's Ex Machina. Or is it Arc Knife? Whatever. We'll just keep Starry Compass on there. It's probably not optimal, but whatever. Most of his damage is not from Wonder anyway, so it'll be good. I'll explain how he works once you get to on his turn. So Rin's basically how it works. Most of you probably have her A0, so you're going to be using a... Wow, really? I picked a really great boss. It's freaking resisting curse damage. Whatever. You guys will see later. So what's normal is you use this A1. Let me move myself in the corner. Maybe should be it. Okay. Normally you use A1. When she's A1 or 2 for your Rin, you're going to either be using your first skill or your third skill. It's normal that you will be actually... Once you have your A1, you usually start with the third skill because it'll... Basically, it turns into more damage. That's the best way I could describe it. It's a bigger debuff. So Joker, basically how he works is he wants to get his rebellion stacks. He has none right now because, you know, we haven't acted yet. Most of the time you're going to be using him against AoE enemies. That's kind of his role. So there's that. Most of the time you're going to start out with the first skill because it gives 1 rebellion. Once you get to 3 rebellion stacks, you will actually be able to get a second turn for him. And this basically has a cap of 5, so basically you're only able to ever have 5, and then it'll take away 3, so for the next turn you either have to use your first skill or second skill. Second skill gives 2 Will of Rebellion. Since it's single target right now, we'll be doing that. And then third skill you usually use when you either have debuffs or whenever you have an extra action, basically. So you get his extra actions from getting these Rebellion stacks. We'll start with this. And then he gets 2 stacks. As you guys can see right here, under his status rather, you can see he has 2 stacks of what looks like Arsene's mask. And that's how you can tell when he's about to get an extra turn. Wonder will just do defense down, sure. Marion will just do her first skill, get the blessings going. And then Futaba's role is basically just going to be to debuff everybody. And then she'll make the damage normal once we get all charged up. Really a great spot for me to be right now. I'm like blocking something wherever I am. Let's go under the turn order, how about that? A little messier than I would have liked, but you know, I honestly forgot that P5X has so much stuff on the right side of the screen. Normally I just keep it there. Okay, in her case, since we started with skill 1, we'll go skill 3. Or flip it. I started with skill 3, so we do skill 1. So once you get Joker's highlight, you get 1 rebellion stack from using it. But since our Joker is a 6, he gets 3, so it gives him a free turn, basically. We're actually going to use it. Well, you know what? We'll use it next turn for him. Not the extra turn, but his next like actual turn, because then Futaba is going to be able to debuff him. So we'll do this. And he gets that extra stack, so he gets to go. And you can see it down here. Once you do get those 3 stacks, it kind of starts like blazing up with Arsene's like mask. It looks really cool. Then, since ours is so invested, you will see that the SP requirements during his extra turn are really low. He just gets to keep spamming and spamming and spamming and spamming. It's really quite good. depending on whether or not you want to either do more damage or just get another stack is honestly up to you, but most of the time, since both of these enemies have debuffs on them, I would probably recommend using skill 3. Another thing, if you guys know Blade from Honkai Star Rail, it's whatever target he's aiming at is going to take more damage. That's one of Joker's awarenesses. I believe it's A1 or it's A2. It's one of those earlier on. So we'll do this. And another thing I forgot to mention until right now, he does that with his A6. He gets an extra hit based off of his attack. That thing, once you get any enemy on the field below 60% health, he will gain a stack of Rebellion for free. So letting him go in the turn order later is honestly better for him. I don't have him set up in such a way where he's the 4th character, but that kind of just goes for most of your DPSs. You want him to go 4th on your actual team, because then you get time to buff them, you get time to do all that other stuff. But I've been using Joker with the setup where he's just right behind Rin, and it's been working honestly fine. I've almost never had issues with him. But this game isn't inherently like mega difficult either, so we already have the mark going. Let's just... I don't really need to do anything with him right now, so we'll just... whatever. Refresh my Rakunda early. I don't need to heal yet, so we'll just... wait. Up he goes, whatever. Okay, so now that Futaba's back around, we get to pick the 3rd skill. And then we're gonna be able... I believe you have Data Storm on, right? Yeah, okay, if we're able to select it, we're able to do it. We pick Joker, and then what Futaba will do for us is she will reduce the resistances of whatever enemies by 1 tier. In this case, he goes from resisting curse damage to normal damage. And I'll show that right here. So right there, the curse damage is now normal instead of resisted. Let me double check his debuffs. He should have... Okay, yeah, he has Underworld Fairy still. I probably should refresh it, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do skill 3. I don't know why it lagged there, that was weird. Okay, that guy's back. Alright, we'll use the highlight now on 1 time so you guys can see it nice. We'll pick him. Big boss man. This is one of the cooler highlights in the game, in my opinion. I think it's quite cool. Okay, now we have max stacks, so we'll just use an Arsene's chain since it's gonna hit pretty hard. Get another turn. And since we're on single target again, we can use this to get more stacks going, but it doesn't really matter that much. It's just the fact he's gonna hit harder against one enemy like this. Makes sense, right? The multipliers are higher. And that's 50k. And then, there you go. Since he's A6, he gets an extra... Oh yeah, he gets to pop that... Okay, I think I just learned something new. So, usually he only gets to do 1 of those, like... You know, the thing that falls down, that attack. He does that every turn. But I guess he seems like he uses it 1 time per enemy. No matter whether or not they're killed. That's another thing, if Joker happens to kill an enemy and they weren't below 60% health but he somehow kills them before he gets that stack, he will get that stack regardless of whether or not they live. They can die and he still gets the stack. We'll just reapply the mark if we haven't already. We don't really need to do anything here, we'll just do Healing Grace. Yeah, I know we don't have Underworld Fair anymore, so we'll do that. We'll just do double skill 2. I'm sure you guys have seen the loop. Basically, Rin just spams debuffs and then Joker just goes crazy. This is honestly not that good of a fight for him. I mean, ignoring the fact that this guy resists curse damage, it's like mostly a single target fight, so That is quite funny. Like, he did 112k plus this attack for 32k. Like, that's a lot of damage, man. We'll just do second skill in this case. Since it's one guy. Just reapply Marakunda even though we don't need to. Like, this isn't really an optimal team for him. I should have Wonder on other personas, but I don't. Let's get the blessing going again. Not that we need it, we're max stacks. One thing I'm not 100% sure. I believe it's actually better to second skill on one target. Same thing with like Joker, but both Rin and Joker are supposed to be AoE characters, so the fact that we're using them in a situation like we really shouldn't be, but we are. And considering their damage is being resisted most of the time, like, this is not too shabby, to be honest. And no reason for Taba to cheese it somewhat, not really though. But you guys will see on the score in a minute, like, this is like probably a horrible situation. And so that, like, falling knife attack, that is whenever he's A6, that's after, he does it once each turn, or so I thought, but I guess it seems that it, depending on how many enemies there are, it seems like he does it once per enemy? I gotta read that again. I'm used to it popping once per turn, but maybe that's not how it actually works. You see, we got freaking... We got a better score than the last team I used. And the last team we used was, I believe it was Haru on there? I don't know, you guys can remind me what it was. Or whenever I look back, I'll figure it out. Okay. As I'll show, that's not the one I wanted to show. Suppose I'll show his build. Obviously he's A6. I guess I might as well show you guys. So after taking an action, or an extra action specifically, he was, okay, alright. That's why we saw it twice probably. So after taking an extra action, if there are foes with below 25% health, deal damage to those foes equal up to 250% of Rin's attack once per enemy per battle. So that can only happen once. Yeah, per enemy per battle. After using a skill on an extra action, he deals curse damage equal to 50% of attack on all foes. Okay, so I believe what it was then, at the end, is when there was that one guy there, I believe it just has the same animation. So, you know, both of these attacks have the same animation. That's what I believe, because it looks the exact same to me. So basically, he does 2 attacks here when he's at A6. My understanding of this is, I mean, obviously he did an extra action, right? So after that, since he hadn't done it on that second guy that wasn't the boss, he did it for that guy, but that guy died during the AoE attack, so it went to the boss. And then what he did is this one with the taking an extra action and using a skill. So I guess it just has the same animation twice, which is certainly a little interesting. Also, it's an AoE attack for the second attack, apparently. Did not notice that, but not much is living this guy right now, I'm not gonna lie. He's quite good though. I mean, you guys saw the score that we got. It's... Considering it's basically a single target fight, plus he was resisted, I feel like that's pretty good. These are his mindscapes. They're not maxed out yet, but you know, working on it. Cool. Yeah, so this is a thing in the game now where you can upgrade your multipliers like this. I guess these 2 left skills are maxed at 5. This is probably maxed at 5. So what I'm thinking is that the ones that don't cost these bells are maxed out at 5. Not that we can check, but... Okay, so there's that one maxed at 5. So this probably maxed out at 5 as well. I'm gonna guess this one maxes out at 10. We basically have him as good as we can get him. These are his cards. I mean, like, that ended up pretty well. I mean, I'm sure damage mult being crit mult would have been a little better, but take what you can get. Then for his Sun card, he's, I mean, honestly, didn't really proc the best thing ever, but it's like a 4 out of 4 statter, so like we don't really care what it rolls into. It's all good stuff for him. Moon card, we got attack. Pierce rate's like, yeah, it's whatever on him, it's fine, it works. We get the double crit molt though, and then the damage molt. So like, you know, good enough for me. Star repick crit molt. And this one rolled pretty well actually. So one thing is that on Joker skill 1, he does want to apply his curse attack on his skill 1. He wants to apply that. It doesn't really matter that much though, but the M1 accuracy would help him do that. Would I say it's consistent enough to try and get that on there? No, do not. There's no reason to build M1 accuracy for this guy. Like his skill 1 does not pop that curse consistently enough to making that thing pop worth it. If that makes sense. Pretty much it's like that curse on the enemies is just not worth speccing into. You just go full damage. It's just kind of an extra tool, I guess you can think about it like that. And his Sky card, I don't know why I don't have this locked up. That's kind of nasty. 4 on crit rate, pretty good. So his cards are pretty good, but I spent a decent amount of time trying to get him going pretty well. Then basically he has, I mean, you guys can see on the set effect right there, it's 2-piece is increasing his curse damage by 10%, and then a 4-piece increases his curse damage to enemies with debuffs by 20%, which goes back into the reason why you want to run Rin with him. Rin is going to be constantly applying debuffs to the enemy, which makes it just like, this basically has 100% uptime with Rin on the team. That's kind of why it's a good idea to have her. And then if you add on the space card, after defeating a foe, it increases users' attack by 30% for 3 turns. Since optimally you have him go last, I mean that's kind of all your freaking DPSs, you want them to go last. You'll have this up quite often if you have that in that situation. So pretty good. I do want to get his outfit. I'll get that pretty soon. Looking pretty dapper, I'd say. Oh, so the only reason I don't have this is because I was waiting to get him A6. And then you guys saw when that happened. That was pretty recent when he got to A6. So, I'll be picking this up pretty soon. I was kind of saving it as like a trophy thing. Like, oh, you have him maxed out. Time to get him looking dapper. I say he doesn't look freaking sick in this outfit, but that's just how I had it. I mean, I guess I could show the other people's builds as well. I feel like my Rin's kind of whatever. She's A2. Better 5-star. Oh, I didn't show skills on Joker either. Let me do that. Though her cards honestly aren't that good either. I don't even know if there's any reason to show them, but I'll show them anyway. I'll flash by. You guys are probably gonna cringe at them because I honestly forgot that she didn't have her freaking stuff set up properly, but there you go. Somehow I completely forgot to show his actual stats here as well, so there they are. If you account for Futaba, he's at least 50% crit rate on top of everything else, so good enough for me again. He crits very, very often for me though. Normally he does. But those are his stats. He does have his 5-star, I'm pretty sure I showed that already, but there it is if you haven't seen it yet. Only R0, by the way. I haven't gone for his dagger more at all, so he can still get stronger, and I actually will be doing this. This is then the last thing. Whenever he reruns, I'll be putting some stuff to get a dagger for him each rerun. I could do that right now, honestly, but not sure I want to be honest, because I'm so... okay, if Violet wasn't coming very soon, I would, but Violet's coming, so I can't. And then these are his skills, as high as you can possibly get them. Overall, I'd say he's quite strong. Even if you only get him like, I don't know, freaking A1, A2, he's still gonna do you really good. It also goes back into the thing is, as long as this dude isn't being resisted by, you know, the enemy resisting curse damage, he's gonna do you well in so many situations, especially now when you have him as high as I do and you have him maxed out and everything besides his freaking weapon, right? Obviously his cards probably could have rolled a little better, but the fact that it works as well as it does, considering, you know, everything, I'd say works quite well. Like another reasons that, I mean, you guys saw we ranked in the top 26%. I feel like that's pretty good considering, first off, this is a single target character that you would want to be fighting Atavaka with. We bought a multi-target character. Second, he freaking resists curse for half of the freaking battle. Like, how, come on, that's pretty good. Also just don't have a DPS for, well, not really, no. Don't really have a DPS for him. Anyway. That is Mr. Joker. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, I'm gonna try and upload a few more P5X videos in the next few days. Maybe I'll do like, this week will just be P5X, and then next week I'll probably go back to Star Rail stuff. I'm thinking it was probably partially my fault that it wasn't really popping, because I'm not gonna lie, I was not playing this game as much recently. I was just kind of just doing dailies and logging out, so if that was my fault, my bad, YouTube. I might have blamed you for no reason, but if it was something else, oh, you know, kind of unfortunate. Regardless, hope you guys enjoyed, and like I said, Star Rail's probably not going to be this week, but next week, because I want to test the waters with this one. I don't think I ever did a full week of just P5X either. So I gotta take that into consideration, because Star Rail popped off, at least for me, it popped off pretty freaking hard, but I did give that an actual week by itself. So I gotta consider that. Anyway, that's just me freaking talking and being curious about something. I have actually no clue what the reason might be. Maybe the algorithm just doesn't like P5X as much as Star Rail. It wouldn't surprise me, right? It's not like P5X is as big as Star Rail. That could also be the case. But that's enough about that. Like I said, P5X is probably going to be entirely this week, so if, you know, this video plus 5 or 6 more videos probably be coming out for this, and then I'll do Star Rail next week. Honestly, I'm kind of behind on showcases. I guess I'll just talk about a little bit on who's coming. We'll be showcasing Haru. Same problem as Joker, though. She doesn't really have a spot right now in the endgame stuff that I can really, you know, glaze her and get her numbers to look higher than they might otherwise be, but that's my fault for not showcasing her when she was new. So she's coming. Like I said, Mont, I'm building right now. She's not done just yet. I did get her 5-star weapon, though. Cards, you know, like I said, we're still a work in progress. So she's coming. She's probably going to be the last one, though. So Haru's coming, and then twins. I gotta talk about the twins still, so expect Haru, the twins, and then Mont probably going to be last of that group. There might be a few others I forgot to showcase, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Yeah, no, I think that's everybody. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, because I think I showed off Makoto already. If I didn't, let me know. I'll add her onto the itinerary. But that's what to look forward to. Of course, hope you guys all enjoy. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe so you can keep going the channel, and I will be back with some more content for you guys very, very soon. I'll catch you all in the next video. Laters.